Welcome to the Smart Travel Family YouTube channel and a video about the TF-2 trail in Anaga Rural Park in Tenerife. The trail starts in the beautiful Taborno village that you see right here and then continues through Pico del Inglés in the middle of the Anaga Rural Park up until Playa Valle Seco on the other side of the island. This trail has definitely one of the most picturesque beginnings, because very often other trails that I've taken here in Tenerife start basically just like a path in the forest. So it's nice that you really get to enjoy the views here, and you can expect also something similar when you get out of the forests on the other side of the island. Taborno village is the start of not only the TF-2 trail, but also the TF-9 trail to Apur. The Taborno village is really nicely situated on a ridge here. You can see the Taborno cliff or mountain, and then the Las Carboneras village on one side, and then the rocks cliffs to the north of Tenerife there. First kilometer of the trail looks roughly like this, and you can expect to have to ascend about 3 kilometers up until Pico del Inglés, and then the trail will be mostly downhill to the seacoast on the other end. Half a kilometer in the trail, and you can see the furthest point that you will reach. It's about 900 roughly kilometers above sea level, and that's the Taborno radar station. I'm not sure if it's a weather or a military installation, but you will pass through it when you go through the Pico del Inglés, the picturesque alleyway. Comments about the terrain. As you can see, the trail has sometimes quite steep sides, and one of the questions that I get from parents is whether they can take this trail, and by that matter also other trails, with kids. I would say definitely yes. All of the most popular trails are quite wide. This one is more than 2 meters. They are usually at least a meter, but you have to watch out for your kids on the dangerous spots. Hold their hands. I don't know whether you have to harness them or something. As long as they don't make any stupid mistakes or steps in these instances, the rest of the trails are very enjoyable. You probably don't have to walk all 10 or more kilometers, take a section, and should be quite well. And the other comment is about terrain after heavy rains. These can happen in the north quite frequently, so be sure to either not walk too fast, or if you are running, having shoes with a proper protector, or maybe also the Nordic walking sticks might be useful. They are used by quite many of the local runners. If you hear rustle in the weeds, don't get freaked out. These are just lizards. Remember, there are no snakes or other dangerous animals on the island. Second kilometer in the trail, continue to move up to Pico del Inglés. As you can see, there is this really nice and scenic trail with steps scarred into the mud. Pleasure to walk, but the ascent is quite steep. I plan to run most of the route, but this is definitely not the segment. This is a segment for walking, hiking. I warmly recommend that you use something like a Maps.me or a similar app, because despite the trail being very well marked, there are instances like this where there is a fork with 3 trails. And okay, yes, I finally noticed that there is this marking here that this is the right trail, but I did notice at first and was glad I had my Maps.me open and could see where's the right way. 1.5 kilometers in the trail, and you get one cleared spot where you get to enjoy a beautiful panorama. And also this is the place where it's 200 meters till, as far as I know, the only restaurant along the trail. Excellent and picturesque place where to stop for a beer or other drink. Let me show you what's on the menu so that you know what to expect and how much it could cost. Here's the menu. As you will see, very reasonable prices. Actually a cheaper restaurant than at Cruz del Carmen. Seconds will be around 6-7 euros. Snacks 2-3, so very reasonable. Where is beer? I don't see beer, but judging by the prices here, should be maximum 2 euros. At the restaurant you also see that Pico del Inglés is that way, so we have to walk just a little bit on the road, and then we will be back on the forest trail. And as you walk these 200 meters up the road, don't miss the entrance to the trail. It can be as unobtrusive as this, but fortunately it's marked by the white and yellow stripes here, so up we go. As we are approaching Pico del Inglés, we are reaching parts of the trail that the Anaga Rural Park is most famous for. These are these overarching moss-covered trees. I hope it's you can feel it in the video, but here the feeling really becomes quite magical. Just look and enjoy and I hope you will also get to experience this in person. Just at the 3-kilometer mark, you will arrive at this barbed wire fence, and a sign like this, trail continues there to Pico del Inglés, so this is where you will go. But be sure to take a few minutes to go up here on this trail, because you will get to have a peek at the Taborno radar station. I'm not sure whether it's a civil or military installation. You also don't have to go that way. I took that trail in previous rounds. It just ends up at the radar station entrance, but you can get over the barbed wire here, a little bit up there, and then you get a very nice look of something that looks very UFO-like. Oh my god, slipped on some roses, brushes, damn. But yeah, it looks like straight out of X-Files. As you descend from the radar station, then you just continue along a very pleasant trail to Pico del Inglés, which should be here in like next 300-400 meters. The video of a bit more of the trail so that you get an impression of what to expect. Hola! Hola! As you will arrive in Pico del Inglés, the trail will guide you on this road there, where the path continues, but you absolutely must check out the old Pico del Inglés road, which is probably the most Instagrammed spot in the north of Tenerife and one of the most picturesque in the whole of the island. The pictures that you can get here is probably one of the prime reasons why quite many people take this trail, and as you can see, it's absolutely stunning. And even though the main path goes along the new main road, you can actually take a short detour here because it will join the trail anyway. Exactly 4 kilometers and we have arrived at Pico del Inglés. I think that's the peak there, so you cannot get higher than this. If you follow the proper trail, then you will come on the road here, but if you go through the old Pico del Inglés road, then you will actually pass the summit around there in the bushes, about 50 meters down there, and you will have to return to the peak for about 300 meters. There is the Mirador Pico del Inglés here, so look out, so let's check it out. So here we are. While you are at the lookout, you also get a peek at the Taborno radar station. So this is where I showed you where the UFO X-Files like location was at. And this is what the beginning of the descent looks like. I'm now about half a kilometer from Pico del Inglés. And very nice rainforest. You have to watch out where you step, of course, but quite a nice change after the ascent from Taborno. Almost kilometer 5 in the trail. Don't despair, pay attention to the signs. There is the cross there, so you don't walk there, and then there is the small pole here, so little trail it is. Exactly 5 kilometers in the trail and you will arrive at some rocks where you understand that this is indeed a volcanic island. You can really see how the rocks have been pushed out of the earth, and from being horizontal have become totally vertical. The trail around kilometer 5 is very nice. You cannot really see the panorama, but you can feel that it's there. There is also a very slight fog, but you definitely feel that you are walking on top of the ridge or running, and so a great sense of freedom. So I hope there will be also an opening where we get to enjoy the view. At 5.3 kilometers in the trail, you not only see a very nice eucalyptus grove, but you also see the end of your trail. There is Santa Cruz del Tenerife in the distance, and the end of the trail is right behind that peak. There is the playa de Valle Seco. This is called the dry valley, but according to the descriptions on internet, it's actually one of the wettest places on the whole of Ireland, which is a bit funny. I absolutely love when I get to do trails with a view, and this is one of such trails. It's very stunning. Uphill here, but behind you there is a relatively steep rock face and quite a nice trail to take it all in. Kilometer 6 the descent continues to be absolutely visually stunning. However, if you are running, really watch out for your feet. I just almost took a major nosedive, managed to gather myself at the very last second. So take care. Time for one more 360-degree panorama. If you like nature, you will definitely like the trail here. I like the fact that it goes through forests just around Pico del Inglés, about 2-3 kilometers, but the rest of the trail has very scenic views. And you see, of course, there is one more of these mountaintop houses. I don't know how practical it is, but I sure envy people for the view that they get every day. Bloody hell, I was fascinated by the farm down here and by the fields, and didn't check my maps in the app, and it turns out that I'm off the trail. I know how to get back up there to continue to the end point. Wow! Climb it is. When you will reach this house here and a beautiful panorama, then you can know that you are halfway there, and the hardest part of the trail is behind you, because from here it's either flat or downhill to the ocean coast. This is also the part of the trail with one of the steepest falls. It's absolutely stunning and beautiful, but watch out for your steps because it's very uneven, and if you have children with you or are feeling lightheaded after the walk, really watch out. At 6.5 kilometers from Taborno to the ocean coast, this is the most extreme part of the trail. Like nothing really extreme, just be ready that there are also parts like this where the path is more rocky than usual, and the sides of the path could be much more steep than expected. Look, the trail even passes behind my dream vacation house. If someone would bring me up food and drink for a week, would absolutely love to hang out here. Roughly 6.5 kilometers and one more intersection. So it says Valle Seco around 4 kilometers, but it's more like 6 according to my GPS. I have no idea where the Catalanes trail goes to. I also have never seen such a marking, Pra 43, but our way goes down here. And there in the distance is the ocean. It's probably because lack of space, but I really like how in Tenerife the trails are integrated with everyday life of the islanders. Behind me here you see the house, and also these are actual fields that are used for agriculture. So it's nice to observe how things are done here. So you are not only sort of enjoying the beauty, but also seeing how life has been really tough, at least in the past, for the local inhabitants. Kilometer 7, and you're arriving at this nice rock formation here. There is also a little creek. I hope it's natural. Excellent place where to have a break and a snack. I think that people who said that the Valle Seco doesn't really describe the valley were right, because it's definitely not dry at all. This is the most green that I have probably seen on the whole of the island. Look at that, there is even a small waterfall here. A bit of tongue-in-cheek, but at 7.5 kilometers you have to even cross a river. I very much like how diverse the trail is. So it started out in sort of bare mountains, actually a village. Then it goes up to the so-called rainforest area in Tenerife. And now, just like 2-3 kilometers before the end of the trail, and around kilometer 8, we are in this, I don't know whether I can call it a valley, probably quite green, lush valley. There is even water, which is unexpected. So you get to enjoy probably as much of the diverse terrains of Tenerife as possible. Probably the only thing that you don't see here is the desert-like environment that's more in the south of the island. Sorry for the jittery video, but I wanted to show you what the trail is like here. I'll speed it up a bit, but so that you can appreciate also how the nature differs from what you saw at the start and the middle of the trail. This is also one beautiful spot of the trail, just after kilometer 8. The biggest waterfall that I've seen on the island. Oh, turns out there is even a higher waterfall here, around kilometer 9. And then there is also this interesting structure. I assume it's an aqueduct. I don't really know where the water is coming from, but yeah, just good to know. 8.5 kilometers, and I have to again share what the environment looks like. There are these cactuses, also the small canyon-like river that has now gathered strength because more and more water is pouring into it, and the mountains are getting higher and higher on each side. At around kilometer 10 you will arrive in this village-like place that seems to be mostly busy with agriculture. As far as I know, there are no nearby real roads here, so I'm just wondering, there seem to be many fields here, how they collect their produce and bring it out to the city, to the markets. There are also people living here. There is a proper house behind me. Must be some really tough people who have to schlep everything on their backs to get it back home. The village doesn't seem to have a name, but it's about 200 meters from Las Cuevas, which you can find on the map. And if you don't feel like finishing the trail, getting to the ocean coast, then this is the earliest spot where someone can drive by and pick you up. It will be about 10 kilometers from the start of the hike. I am now at Caserio Las Cuevas, so Las Cuevas village. This is the place where officially the Taborno TF-2 trail ends. There is also a bus stop here, which can be expected. This is quite unbelievable. There are 3 buses serving this stop, 916, 917 and 947. They don't go very frequently, so better check out the schedule in advance. I absolutely love how ingenious the local people are. As you see, no cars can get up there, but there is a small winch and a cradle there, and it can come all the way down to here, pick up some goodies, and then be schlepped back up. Awesome. Same here. Genius. You will decide not to wait in Las Cuevas for the bus, which can be more than an hour's wait if you arrive at the wrong time. Then this is what the walk to the beach will look like. There is this natural creek here and a paved road. Nothing exciting, but at least after the quite tiring walk, this will not challenge you a bit. So we have reached the end of the trail from Taborno via Pico del Ingles to Valle Seco and Playa Valleseco, and also the end of the video. I hope you liked it. I hope it gave you a good insight in what to expect. This is a trail definitely worth taking, mostly because of the very diverse scenery, and also that it's an intermediate, not too tough trail. Just a short overview of what I'm taking with me on trail runs and hikes in Tenerife. Maybe some of these tips will be useful for you as well. Priority number 1, good shoes. Definitely take something that has a good protector. I would say that this is the absolutely minimum, but I am now, as I'm doing trail runs, looking for something more even sturdy and with bigger spikes. Sunglasses. Tenerife is really sunny usually. Watch with GPS to save your phone battery for those nice shots. Something to take care of the sweat. This also could be replaced by a headband. Small backpack that also serves as a holder for the water bag. I inside here have 1 liter, but I would probably recommend 1.5 or 2 liters for most people, including myself. A little bit of energy. You also could stack up a bit more on food. I'm also taking this waterproof bag. Why? Because there of course also could be rain, but also because of sweating and the difference of temperature between water and surrounding temperature, stuff can get really moist here. So this protects all of your documents, maps and so on. If you plan to use public transportation, at least in 2022, you have to have a mask with you. Map of Anaga Rural Park, just to give me general guidance if electronics fail. Small power bank, because you never know how much videos and pictures you will take. Documents, payment card, little bit of cash, and I'm also taking a burner phone, just in case my smartphone dies, that I can still call whomever necessary. If you start the route from the Taborno village, don't just go right away on the trail, but do also check out the village itself and the scenery here. The village is situated in absolutely stunning location, basically on top of a ridge, so there is a 360-degree view of the mountains, Anaga Rural Park, and the ocean that way. If you want to start the trail on the right foot and full of energy, there is a small restaurant in the village and also a small cafeteria a bit further here. Continuing the tour of the village, here you can see some very traditional architecture, the so-called cave houses. There are very few preserved here, but still it's very nice to take a look at them. I think they are mostly now used as storage facilities, but at least they would have kept cattle here. I don't know whether people lived here as well some time ago. Surprisingly enough, there is a small information center here. Unfortunately, as it seems, closed now due to siesta. Here is the Taborno lookout. Scenery much the same as from the village, but of course still stunning as usual. If you have more time than just doing the TF2 trail, what you can do is you can come to the lookout in the Taborno village, and I think it's quite a long walk, probably at least 1.5–2 kilometers, but you can walk over there where you see the people in the distance and the Taborno rock or cliff there. This is supposedly the place of quite ancient settlements where the first people sought shelter, but also had very good grounds for cattle breeding. Walking in the village, which is really tiny, will add about 1 kilometer to your total travels, but it's definitely probably worth it, and have at least a coffee or soft drink here to support the local economy. Just as you will start out from the trail, you will also see the Las Carboneras village in the distance, and that is actually part of the route TF10 from Cruz del Carmen to Punta Hidalgo. The route goes itself on the other side of the ridge there, but there is a detour called TF10 that goes through this small village and on the trail there, and then joins the main trail. One of the best ways how to start a trail is to come to the Taborno village by bus. As you see, bus 172 comes here. Here's a map of the bus route in Anaga Rural Park, and for today's trail it's relevant the bus route 275. Actually, also the buses seem to currently be marked 175. That service Taborno and Las Carboneras for the TF10 trail, and then they take you to La Laguna interchange station. It all in all takes about 40 minutes to get either way. Thanks for your support of the channel by pressing those like and subscribe buttons, and I hope to see you next time.